I'm Adam.
And I'm Easter.
And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way. Hey Easter, do you remember your first day of school?
Of course I do. That's when I met Allie.
And Allie is...
She's my best friend, you know that.
But viewers probably don't.
Yeah, on the first day of school, she told me that I was going to be her best bunny.
Did she mean best buddy, or was she being super clever for a kindergartner?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter because 35 years later, she's still both.
In today's book, we have a rhyming story about a bunch of kids before their first day at school. Let's get started. The Night Before Kindergarten by Natasha Wing, illustrated by Julie Durrell. 'Twas the night before kindergarten, and as they prepared, kids were excited and a little bit scared. They tossed and they turned about in their beds, while visions of school supplies danced in their heads. Erasers and crayons and pencils galore were stuffed in their backpacks and set by the door. Outfits were hung in the closets with care, knowing that kindergarten soon would be there. In the morning it came, school starts today. Would the teacher be nice? Would they still get to play? Faces were washed and teeth were brushed white. Kids posed for pictures with eyes sparkling bright.
Hey, Adam, didn't your son have something weird happen on his first day at kindergarten?
Yeah, he and his friend missed the bus at the end of the day.
How did that happen?
He and his best friend were in class together, and at the end of the day they were playing in the playground and didn't even try to get on their bus.
So what happened?
Conveniently, their daycare was just down the road.
But how did they get there?
The principal of their school drove them.
What? That's crazy.
I know, it seems like a real small town type of thing to do.
Imagine the legal liability that the principal was putting himself into.
Also, perhaps, a small town type of thing not to worry about. Parents packed snacks and kids hopped in cars, as if they were boarding a spaceship to Mars. Some kids brought blankets or their favorite stuffed bear in hopes they could nap like they did in daycare. Their parents exclaimed, "You're big kids, wow! Let us hold your bears and blankies for now." The parents were worried their children would cry if they left them at school with just a goodbye, so they told their darlings, "If you want, we can stay and make sure that everything will be a-okay." The teacher then greeted each one with a smile and invited the students to stay for a while. The room was all filled with toys, books, and maps, but where were the beds for mid-morning naps? I don't really remember much about my first day at kindergarten. I do remember playing with these cardboard boxes that had a design printed on them to look like they were red bricks.
I bet you did some building.
I spent most of the morning building towers.
I brought a backpack filled with toys on my first day.
What kind of toys did you bring?
Oh, you know, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats.
Not a stuffed animal?
Nah, I've already got my fur. I don't need to hug a toy fur ball.
That would sure be harebrained, wouldn't it? Get it?
Yeah, I got the joke, if you can call it that.
They colored and painted and played Simon Says, then tumbled and skipped and stood on their heads. They sang silly songs from beginning to end. Within just a minute, each kid had a friend. The children were happy. They loved Miss Sunrise. It was she who was in for a giant surprise. When what to her wondering eyes should appear, but sad moms and dads who were holding back tears. Their noses so sniffly, their eyes red and wet. This was the saddest goodbye Miss Sunrise had seen yet. She gathered the grown-ups on the magical rug, then sent them away after one final hug. The children all waved from the door of the school. "Don't cry, Mom and Dad. Kindergarten is cool."
Did you cry on your kid's first day of school?
No, both my kids are incredibly adaptable. I wasn't worried that they would have a hard time making friends or following the rules.
Do you think the first day of school is harder for kids or for parents?
Oh, parents for sure.
But you just said that it wasn't that hard.
I wasn't worried for my kids, but I couldn't help but think about how fast they were growing up.
Ah, they're getting so big.
It's true. There are definitely times when you realize how fast time moves.
Like when?
Like when you realize that you're the same age that your parents were when something significant happened to you.
Your first date, school dance, etc.
Exactly. And I always thought about my parents being much older than I consider myself now.
Your parents are probably thinking that you were growing up so fast.
Maybe.
Are you crying now?
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Be nice.
Speaking of nice things, if you thought this video was nice, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel. I'm Adam.
And I'm Easter.
And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way. Did you know Friedrich Froebel opened the first kindergarten in Blankenburg, Germany in 1837? The Prussian government outlawed kindergartens in 1851 because of Froebel's unorthodox theories. They were allowed again in 1860, 8 years after his death.